Namaste. Thank you so much, Cedar Lane Church, for having me. My name is Ram Vishwanathan, aka Doli Ram, and I want to wish all of you tuning into this video from all over the world a very happy Diwali and a Saal Mubarak. I hope that all of you are enjoying this time with your friends, family, over great food, lights, colors, and last but not least, great music and dance. Let's go. Happy Diwali, everyone!
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevasishyate. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormam amrutangamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
What is visible is infinite. What is invisible is also infinite. Out of the infinite, the finite has come. Yet being infinite, only infinite remains. May we be guided from falsehood to truth, from the shadows into the light, and from death to life. Peace, peace, peace.
Namaste. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Abhijana Manchi. My pronouns are he, him, and I welcome you this morning on this beautiful, gorgeous autumn day to Cedar Lane as we gather to celebrate Deepavali or Diwali, the joyous festival of lights.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali. I am the Reverend Dana Edwards, and my pronouns are she and her. Whoever you are and whomever you love, wherever you are, whatever your beliefs, your gender identity or expression, your immigration status or disability, you are welcome here.
And if you're new or feeling new this morning and you are joining us online, please introduce yourselves in the chat. And if you're here in person, and if you feel comfortable doing so, just raise your hand so we may see you, recognize you, and welcome you. Do we have any? All right. We have quite a few newcomers this morning. Welcome. And you're also invited to complete the newcomer form, which is linked in the chat, and also we have it here available if you would like to do so, to stay connected to all the things that are happening at Cedar Lane.
If you've been attending for a while and you're interested in being a member of this religious community, please reach out to our membership coordinator, Nicole Singer.
And speaking of, we have a new member, Dana.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, Adrienne just joined this morning, our newest member. Welcome, Adrienne. Our pastoral visitors are an extension of our ministry team, and this morning, Betsy Bings is our pastoral visitor here, who is available to support you in person. And, as always, we have a few announcements.
As always.
That's right. With this week's Climate Summit in Glasgow, I know climate change is on top of our minds for many of us. I invite you to consider joining me and my colleagues from River Road and Fairfax, members of the Potomac Partnership congregations, for a 5-day climate resilience pilgrimage to Walden Pond in April, led by our colleague, the Reverend Rob Hardy's. Now, Walden Pond and its most famous inhabitant, Henry David Thoreau, are significant to both Unitarian Universalism and Americans' understanding of their relationship to nature. At Walden, we will be cultivating climate resilience through group work and daily meditative walks through the Walden Woods ecosystem. But to participate and join us on this pilgrimage, you must attend one of 2 Zoom meetings that are scheduled for November 9th and 18th. Please register today for one of those information sessions by emailing the Reverend Rob Hardy's at rhardys@gmail.com. His email is being linked in the chat as we speak.
Awesome. Families, please pick up your soul care packages today in person. Our soul care packages are curated activities related to the monthly theme, and they're designed to deepen the faith formation of the entire family, and they're meant to do together as a family. And if you're watching online and you would like a box mailed to you, email Ashley Del Sol at adelsol@cedarlane.org.
And they are pretty cool, and they're only for families and our children. So, if you're an adult, too bad, not getting any. Congressman Jamie Raskin is returning to Cedar Lane, this time as our Kiplinger lecturer on November 13th at 7 p.m. At 7:30, but you should arrive at 7 to get situated. Boy, you're on this morning. That's great. I was just testing to see if you were going to pay attention or not. Now, in-person registration is available exclusively for Cedar Lane members and friends. Please register today, and the registration link is also included in the chat, and it's also in our e-news. So please join us. It's going to be an amazing lecture. We'll also have Emma's Revolution providing some music as part of the lecture. And I am delighted and thrilled to welcome to Cedar Lane my friend and social justice activist and acclaimed musician, T.M. Krishna, who is joining us all the way from India this morning to share a powerful reflection and also his music with us. T.M. Krishna is well known in India for his activism work, engaged in the work of justice in so many arenas, and also engaged in providing such innovation in the field of Indian classical music, the Carnatic tradition, the South Indian Carnatic tradition. He is the winner of many awards, including the Magsaysay Award in 2016 for his activism work and peace work. And he's also somebody who is a prolific writer, has published many articles and books, including his latest, which is The Spirit of Inquiry, which is a must-read. Anyway, it is a joy to welcome T.M. Krishna. And Krishnaji, if you're watching, welcome.
Welcome. As we enter this time of reflection and remembrance, connection and community, we acknowledge that we gather on the traditional land of the Nacotchtank people, the people from which the name Anacostia is derived. They were part of the Piscataway tribes, and we honor them with gratitude, and we honor the land itself and the people who have protected it through the generations.
We remember those who were enslaved and worked this land without choice or reward, and we remember all who have gone before us, our spiritual ancestors whose vision and labor helped create and sustain this, our beloved religious community. In this spirit, we gather. In this spirit, we begin. Let us now turn and greet and welcome each other. Welcome back, everyone. For those of you who are watching online, I just want to share with you that our sanctuary is full this morning. Yes.
Yeah.
We even have friends sitting in the choir loft. Welcome. Happy Diwali. Today we celebrate Deepavali or Diwali, a joyous festival of lights celebrated by more than 1 billion Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, and others around the world. In India, the celebration marks the biggest holiday of the year.
The holiday is marked by lighting lamps, gathering with family and friends to feast, dance, light fireworks, and exchange gifts.
The name Deepavali derives from two Sanskrit words, Deepa, meaning light, and Avali, meaning rose or series. So this refers to the most prominent feature of the festival, the displaying of rows of illuminated lamps from homes, temples, and other buildings in order to symbolize the triumph of good over evil, of hope over despair, of peace over anxiety, and of love over fear. We all need a Diwali.
Diwali is linked to multiple stories in Hindu religious texts. Many of these stories are about the triumph of good over evil and the awakening of the inner light.
So in northern India, Diwali is believed to be the day when the god Rama returned to Ayodhya with his spouse Sita and younger brother Lakshmana after defeating the king Ravana. And in southern India, Diwali is celebrated as the day when the god Krishna and his spouse Satyabhama together defeated the demon Naraka and freed 16,000 women in captivity.
Many Hindus also celebrate Diwali by honoring Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, and Ganesha, the elephant-headed god of new beginnings. Other religions like Jainism, Sikhism use Diwali to mark important events in their histories too. In the Jain tradition, Diwali marks the day that Mahavira, the last Jain spiritual leader, attained physical death and final enlightenment in the 6th century BCE. Jains have been celebrating this occasion since the event of Mahavira's final nirvana more than 2,500 years ago.
Sikhs commemorate Diwali as Bandichor Divas, the day of liberation, to mark the release of their sixth guru, Guru Har Gobind, who was unjustly imprisoned for several years along with 52 other Hindu kings. Guru Har Gobind refused to be released until the other kings were also released with him. Now, while the story behind Diwali varies from region to region, the essence is the same: to connect with, rejoice, and serve the inner light. Although it is not seen externally, this inner light is present in everyone, energizing all bodies and minds and spirits. It awakens the individual to one's true nature, and not as the body, but as the unchanging, infinite, and transcendent reality. And the purpose of life is to realize this essential truth and seek to embody it in our thoughts, our deeds, and our actions. Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali, everyone. Happy Diwali once more. So, my name is Rajendran. My pronouns are he and him. The worship associate for today's service. As Usha Charya, Mala Wedberg, Lalita Janamanchi, and Payal Dharam,
And others.
kindle the Diwali lamps, Please share in the chat where you're lighting your chalice or lamp from. May the light of love shine brightly in our hearts. May the light of understanding shine in our minds. May the light of peace glow in our homes. May the light of service shine forth ceaselessly from our hands.
Growing up in India, Diwali was such a special occasion for us. It was the most important festival. And I still remember so many years ago, but it's still as clear to me as it happened yesterday. When I was a child, there was so much excitement. The excitement would be building days and weeks before, where the anticipation of the food, the clothes, the fireworks, being a child, those were the important things. But the house used to be cleaned. There was a flurry of activity. The house would be painted inside. Rangoli would be done on the outside, which is decoration with colored powders that make designs, different beautiful designs. And we would join in, of course, as a child with my little clumsy hands. It wasn't always great, but it was so much fun participating. And the relatives and just the flurry of activity, the excitement built and was building towards the festival. And everyone, it's just not us, it's like Christmas here. It was just so glorious. And the day comes and we're just beside ourselves, we're bursting with excitement and we're trying to get ready. And of course, we had to sit first through the puja, get up early in the morning, take what they call head bath in India, but it's actually you shampoo your hair. Basically, you're cleansing yourself. The symbolism of cleansing yourself for this day of honor and reverence. And then you put your new clothes on, you eat sweets, of course, and that was a very special thing for us, the food and the sweets. And then it was time for the puja. And usually the puja to Lakshmi is done in the evenings, but my mother always did puja in the morning. She always, every day began with puja, which is worship, prayer and worship. And so we would sit through that. And of course, we were impatient and restless and waiting for the puja to be done so we could actually get about the business of our Diwali, which was food and fireworks and fun for the festival. So that would be done. And then we would just run off from the puja area and get our different fireworks. We had some beautiful ones. We had sparklers. We had they called like a pomegranate. It was shaped and it would be fountain. They called it fountain, and it would just rise up like a fountain. Beautiful colors and rockets and all kinds of. It was amazing. Just spinning wheels and just so many fireworks and exciting. And the elders used to, supervise us and make sure we weren't getting hurt and things. And so it was just wonderful. And before that began, we would actually decorate the house with lights. So that is the whole the whole principle behind Deepavali, which is Deepa, lighting the Deepam, or the clay lamps. We used to put oil in them and have wicks and light them all around the house. And that was to welcome Goddess Lakshmi to come into our house and bless us with prosperity, wealth, and good cheer. And as time has gone on, and as I grew up, I realized that the whole symbolism of Diwali just wasn't what my childish mind wanted. It was just that you can light a light and dispel all the darkness. And the light is within us, and we light for others. And it was just, finally, it can apply to life in general, especially during dark days and dark times. Just recalling Diwali is enough to light up my world. Happy Diwali.
Good morning, Pyle. Yeah, it's on.
Good morning.
So we're going to see you perform a dance, which we're actually going to see the recording. But I wanted to ask you, how long have you been learning dance?
I've been learning for about 7 or 8 years with my sister, Pooja.
Wow. And how old are you now?
Now I'm 14.
Wow. So you've been learning for, I'm just
7
trying to
years.
do the math.
So from when I was 7 or 8.
Okay. 7 years now. That's awesome. So what kind of dance do you...
I learn Kuchipudi dance, which is a form of classical dance.
And Kuchipudi is from southern India, from the
Yeah.
state of Andhra,
Yes.
right? Yes, yes, and it's a beautiful dance form. And it's known for its vibrancy and movement and rhythm.
Yes.
And the name of the dance that you're doing today?
Puja, or Brahmanjali.
Brahmanjali. So Brahmanjali means the great salutation. And the dance itself is a salutation to Shiva, who is the lord of the dance, as you see represented as Nataraja, the cosmic dancer, and also to Parvati, his consort, who is known for her grace, and to the teachers who provide the learning, to all the musicians, to all the lovers of literature and poetry, and to all of humanity. It's a beautiful dance that really symbolizes all these elements and the various aspects of the divine. So thank you for sharing your gift with us, and let us, without further ado, witness to Brahmanjali. I invite you to center yourselves now for a few moments, letting your mind, body, and spirit come into easy alignment. Let your body be relaxed and open. your heart soft. Let go of any plans or preoccupations, tasks to be done. Unhook the garment of busyness. Allow your eyes to close or keep them open with a softened gaze. And take a few long, slow breaths. Breathing in and out fully. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And with each breath, try to soften and release whatever tension or anxiety you may be holding a little too close. Just release it. And as you breathe in and out, I invite you to chant with me the ancient syllable Om, the primordial syllable of the universe. Continue chanting, and as you keep chanting Om, imagine that you are lighting a lamp within. And as the lamp is lit, feel its glow and its warmth. And keep repeating Om. Let your light radiate from within your being out into this sanctuary, into your home, into our community and our world. Hold in this light those among us who are mourning a loss, those who are ill, those who are struggling, and keep repeating Om. Hold in the light the many millions who have died in this pandemic, loved ones, neighbors, friends, family. Radiate your light, your love to people everywhere, all beings, the whole earth. Keep repeating Om. Now join with me in chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi, invoking peace within, peace among, and peace all around us. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. As we enter the silence together, those among us who are mourning a loss or marking the anniversary of the loss of a loved one are invited to rise in body and or in spirit or share their name in the chat. Let us be in silence together.
Once again, my name is Arvind Venugopal. This is Rahul Mukherjee. This is Chris Morrow. And we are Twameva. Banturiti kolu viyavaya Rama, 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 Banturiti kolu viyavaya Rama. తొంటవేటి వాణి మొదలైన మద తొంటవేటి వాణి మొదలైన మద తొంటవేటి వాణి మొదలైన మద తుటవేటి వాణి మొదలైన మద తుటవేటి रोमाञ्चमने गणकञ्चुकमु रोमाञ्चमने गणकञ्चुकमु रामभद्रुडने मुद्रविल्लयु रोमाञ्चमने गणकञ्चुकमु रामभद्रुडने मुद्रविल्लयु रामनाम मने रामनाम मने वरकटकमिदि रामनाम मने वरकटकमिदि रामनाम मने वरकटकमिदि रामनाम मने वरकटकमिदि राजल्लुनय्य त्यागराजु निज रामनाम मने वरकटकमिदि राजल्लुनय्य त्यागराजु निज बंटूरीति कोलु वियवय्य राम बंटूरीति कोलु वियवय्य राम Thank you.
Hi everyone, happy belated Deepavali. Just adjusting this. So my name is Nikhil and I'm the Advocacy Director with Hindus for Human Rights. And I just want to thank all of you and especially Reverend Abhi, for one of our advisory board members, for inviting me today and giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about what we do. So Hindus for Human Rights is a nonprofit organization based here in DC, founded in 2019, so pretty new. And we advocate for pluralism, civil rights, and human rights in South Asia and in North America. And we were founded 2 years ago to be a Hindu public voice that's speaking out against caste and the political ideology of Hindu nationalism and Islamophobia and all of these different forms of bigotry. And I'm our advocacy director here in DC, trying to work with this administration to get them to speak more about human rights issues in India. And this work for me is very personal. As a young Indian American, in the last few years, I've come into adulthood seeing my identity as a Hindu being weaponized and politicized by right-wing forces both in the US and in India. In India, the current Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, was elected right before my senior year of high school, which is where I first learned about this ideology of Hindu nationalism, which has really taken root in the last several years and caused a lot of violence against minorities, and this is all being done in the name of a Hindu identity. And then as I was entering college, with the 2016 election, I was seeing the rise of groups like Hindus for Trump and Republican Hindu coalition who are similarly trying to capitalize on this shared Islamophobia between both groups. And so that was all, it meant that this identity, which for me growing up being Hindu and being Indian, this source of strength and something that made me unique, I was seeing this identity being used, to target people and attack others on the basis of their identities. And so for me, if the only public voices claiming Hindu identity are coming from this hateful kind of political ideology of Hindu nationalism, then I see it as my duty to push back against that and redefine what it means to be Hindu in a positive light. And that's what all of us at Hindus for Human Rights are trying to do. And it's like not easy work, as you can imagine, to speak out against your community and the people that you know and love, but this is, for us, the only way to live out our faith. And I'm very grateful to have the support of people like Abhi, and T.M. Krishna is one of our other advisory board members. And I do want to tie this to Diwali, and so I wanted to share just a very short reflection. And this is an article by a scholar of Hinduism, Professor Anantandan Rambachan, which I read this as a college freshman when I was trying to figure out my identity and my relationship to these political forces, and it really shaped my relationship to Deepavali. So it's very short. It's just about the practice of placing diyas for Deepavali, and we generally place them, all over our homes, lighting up everywhere inside, but also it's very important to place diyas on the threshold of your door. So right on the doorstep, meeting, neighborhood and society at large. So the reflection says, light in the Hindu tradition is a symbol for knowledge, even as darkness symbolizes ignorance. It's easy and tempting, however, when we speak about knowledge dispelling ignorance, to represent ignorance as this abstract, distant, and ethereal phenomenon, which is disconnected from our concrete realities of human life. But the light on the threshold shines just outside our doors, and it reminds us that the darkness that needs to be dispelled is real. It is here, it is now, and it is present in our own communities. It takes place in all of the structures, social, cultural, economic, political, religious structures, which devalue human beings and are sources of suffering. So this is patriarchy, casteism, child abuse, environmental exploitation. These are the demons of the darkness against which the light on the threshold must shine brightly. So this is the reflection from Professor Rambachan. And I'll close now, but I just want to thank you all so much for supporting Hindus for Human Rights as we work on confronting the forces of darkness in our own community. We are a small but mighty team. I'm the only full-time staff person right now, but we are trying to grow, and with your support, I hope we'll be able to do so in the coming year. And yeah, I hope this coming year brings more light, peace, and justice for all. So I'm going to pass it now to one of our amazing advisory board members, T.M. Krishna. And I actually have a very personal story about the song that he'll be singing. In college, I came across this Urdu poem written by a Muslim poet in praise of Hindu god Krishna. And for me, that was just like mind-blowing and represents so much of what we're trying to do in this kind of work. And so my friend and I, we translated this poem, and I published an article in a Pakistani newspaper in 2017. And I sent it to T.M. Krishna several years ago, and it was such an amazing Diwali surprise to see that he has worked with another musician, Shubha Mudgal, to set it to music, and he posted that rendition online, and we'll be hearing it now. So thank you all.
Thank you, Nikhil, for your advocacy and courage and the way in which you have been showing up and witnessing to Hindu values in our society and lifting up the ways in which we can be doing this work together. And our offering will now be given and gratefully received. There are many ways in which you can give, through online giving or by text or PayPal, or mailing your check to the church, or dropping your gift off in the back of the sanctuary where we have that beautiful golden bowl. Whichever way you give, however you give, we are deeply grateful for your generosity and support. We now witness to the offering with this beautiful song by T.M. Krishna.
ऐ देखने वालों इस हुस्न को देखो, इस राज को समझो। ऐ देखने वालों इस हुस्न को देखो, इस राज को समझो। ये नक्शे ख़याली, ये फिक्रते आली, ये नक्शे ख़याली, ये फिक्रते आली, ये पे करे तनवीर, ये कृष्ण की तस्वीर। ऐ देखने वालों इस हुस्न को देखो, इस राज को समझो। मानी है कि सूरत, सनत है कि फितरत। मानी है कि सूरत, सनत है कि फितरत। जाहिर है कि मस्तूर, नज़दीक है या दूर। ये नार है या नूर। ऐ देखने वालों इस हुस्न को देखो, इस राज को समझो। दुनिया से निराला, दुनिया से निराला, ये बांसुरी वाला। दुनिया से निराला, ये बांसुरी वाला। गोकुल का ग्वाला, क्या शान है वल्ला, क्या आन है वल्ला। बूत खाने के अंदर खुद हुस्न का बुतगर, बूत बन गया आकर। ऐ देखने वालों इस हुस्न को देखो, इस राज को समझो। बंसी में जो लय है, नशा है न मैं है। बंसी में जो लय है, नशा है न मैं है। कुछ और ही शय है। बंसी में जो लय है, नशा है न मैं है। कुछ और ही शय है। एक रूह है रक्सा एक कैफ है लरजा एक रूह है रक्सा एक कैफ है लरजा एक अक्ल है मैनोश एक होश है मदहोश आजा मेरे काले आजा मेरे काले भारत के उजाले आजा मेरे काले भारत के उजाले दामन में छुपा ले है देखने वालों इस हुस्न को देखो इस राज को समझो I'd like to first thank Abhi Janamanchi for giving me this opportunity to talk to all of you from miles away in India. A festival is a time for celebration, time for joy. But I'm going to start with a note which is not so joyful, because I think it's important we set in context where we are as India, as a country, as much as we are feeling the same things across the globe. Diwali or Deepavali is a festival of lights, festival of happiness, festival of joy, festival of sound, sweets, all that. But this year, the festival has begun with a very, very unsavory note. An advertisement which asked for the celebration of the time of Diwali in the language Urdu was attacked. Women who did not wear their bindi, or the dot that's kept on the forehead of Hindu women, were accused of being non-Hindu. This entire discourse has been so ugly, violent, othering of Muslims of India, of people of the Islamic faith, that somehow Urdu is related to the Islamic faith and Sanskrit is a Hindu language. I'm saying this to you because it's important that we don't do this hunky-dory, we're very happy celebrating Deepavali, when actually things are not so positive in India during this Diwali. So I want to first say that we live in very divisive times where language, ethnicity, people, their belief, everything is being used to divide people. And this time it has been Urdu versus Hindi or Sanskrit or whatever. So it is in this context that I'm talking to you. And it's even more important that I find in Diwali something to hold together, something that all of us as people, not Indians, not Hindus, not Muslims, not Christians, not atheists, not agnostics, but just everybody together can embrace. And it's desperate times, it's precarious times, and that's why I sound serious, and that's why I am upset about what is going on around me. I remember Deepavali in my childhood. I think most people in India would remember. It was all about firecrackers. Of course, those were not days when we were so aware of the environment or the noise pollution or the smoke that it was causing, but it was about having firecrackers. And I remember, like on our street where we lived, we all used to buy firecrackers, and the question was, whose house is more noisy? Who creates more dust? And by the end of the morning, we used to burst crackers in the night and the morning. By the end of the morning, if there was more rubbish in front of your house, it was a victory versus somebody else's house where there was less rubbish. The rubbish comes from the firecrackers. You burst them and there's paper all over. So we would gather all that together and put a bonfire and say, my bonfire is bigger than yours. It was these silly things, these almost trivial things that made Deepavali so special. Getting up in the morning was another thing. In South India, Deepavali is celebrated early in the morning. In the north of India, it's the night, the same night. So I remember getting up at 4 o'clock, and we were all supposed to have an oil bath. Don't ask me why, we just did it. And then we would wear new clothes, and by 5 o'clock, if we were cracker bursting children, we would be outside before the sun rose, and the only lights you saw were that of the firecrackers. Noisy ones, colorful ones, those that shot up high in the sky. And these were in front of every home. It didn't matter how rich you were. Even the smallest homes, even the back streets, they used to buy some crackers. People saved for it. It meant a lot for everybody who was in India to participate in this festival. Diwali is unlike any other festival, and that's why I'm talking about this. In a way, I would say it's not a religious festival at all. It was everybody's festival. Most people don't even know the theology or the mythology around Deepavali. It doesn't matter, does it? It was just that everybody came together, smiled, hugged each other, and said, Happy Deepavali or Happy Diwali. That was my childhood. That's how I grew up. Relatives would come home. Younger people would come, take the blessings of the older in the family. We would have lunch at one friend's house, dinner at another friend's house. And it went on for 2-3 days. It was not just that one day. So this entire atmosphere was colorful as the crackers. And it's important that it didn't matter if somebody was Christian, Hindu, Muslim when they celebrate Diwali. Everybody did. Just everybody did. Because it was an Indian festival. Maybe not even Indian. It was a festival. And that was what we treasured. Diwali is greater than any other festival to all young people. I know it. They may have 100 festivals through the year, but that didn't matter. But that is under threat today in India. And I'm saying this loudly and clearly because this needs to be heard by everybody across the globe. This idea of Diwali, this idea of celebration and everybody's celebration is under serious threat. If individuals are targeted for their faith, if advertisements are targeted because they used a language which is as Indian as any other language. Urdu is an Indian language. I speak Tamil, it's an Indian language. India has literally hundreds of languages, hundreds of languages. So which language do we celebrate Diwali in? That sounds like such a trite question, but that's the question that's being asked. And it is so much more important that in these times we keep it all together and we show to every one of these bigots that Diwali is not mine or yours, it's ours. And I'll end with an anecdote which just happened a few days ago, and it was not Diwali, it was a different festival. It was what you would call a typical Hindu festival, actually. It's a festival on which day we pray to the goddess of learning. And I was in my state of Tamil Nadu. I was in a town called Nagapattinam. Very close to Nagapattinam is a very, very famous church called the Velangani Church. And there you get literally thousands of people come and worship. Now, on that day, when Hindus were celebrating the festival for the deity of learning, goddess Saraswati, I went to Velangani and I saw literally thousands of Christians gathering on that day to pray to their goddess of learning. It's the idea that mattered. It didn't matter whether you called her Mary, whether you called her Saraswati, whether you called her Velangani, whether you called her whatever, in whatever language, in whatever part of the world. It was about the idea of knowledge, the idea of understanding, of compassion, and of love. That's the India, that's the world that we need to inhabit. And whether we live in India or the US or anywhere else, I think it's time we start speaking, we start acting, we start writing, we start dancing, we start singing the words of embrace and the words of strong public resistance to any kind of oppression, of force, of violence, of stopping people from being just who they are. Cultures float, cultures move, cultures need to belong to all. Wishing you all a very happy Diwali. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Krishnaji, for that powerful and prophetic message, reminding us of the true meaning and the essence of Diwali and challenging us to keep ourselves in connection with the deeper message of how we need to seek to embody righteousness and do the work of justice and liberation in this broken and beautiful world of ours. I'd like to welcome Alexandra Das, who is a student with the Natnanjali School of Dance here in Bethesda, and she's going to offer a dance in praise of Lord Ganesha, the God of new beginnings, the one who removes all obstacles. And as we celebrate Diwali, this festival of lights, it is good to invoke His presence and seek His blessings as we journey together. Journey on this path together towards a new beginning, a new year. Welcome.
Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram
Ta Di Takkitta Tikkitta Tumkitta Namkitta Tagatarikitta Tagatakkitta Tikkitta Tumkitta Namkitta Tagatarikitta Tagatam Tarikita Dim Tarikita Tum Tarikita Nam Tarikita Tagatarikita
Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Bhajami Satatam Sureshwaram Shri Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Bhajami Satatam Sureshwaram Shri Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Bhajami Satatam Sureshwaram Shri Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Bhajami Satatam Sureshwaram Shri Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram Ajendra Pujita Vigneshwaram Ajendra Pujita Vigneshwaram Ajendra Pujita Vigneshwaram Ganadi Sannuta Pada Padmakaram Ganadi Sannuta Pada Padmakaram Kunjara Bhanjana Chaturadharakaram Guru Guhagrajam Pranavakaram Gajanana Yutam Ganeshwaram कुञ्जर भञ्जन चतुरधर करुम् कुञ्जर भञ्जन चतुरधर करं गुरुगुहाग्रजं प्रणवाकारं गजानन यूतं गणेश्वरं कुञ्जर भञ्जन चतुरधर करं गुरुगुहाग्रजं प्रणवाकारं गजानन यूतं गणेश्वरं भजामि सततं सुरेश्वरं श्री गजाननं गणेश्वरं भजामि भजामि भजामि
Thank you, Alex. As we come to a close, may we remember that this Diwali, our doors in our homes and our community must be open to allow the light to enter the world. May the stories that we heard and shared help us imagine what righteousness looks like. May we commit to journey together in unity while affirming our diversity. May we commit to be a circle of life, manifesting the solidarity that will savor, save, and serve life. May we be about the work of justice and liberation to build the beloved community where all are welcome and reconciled. May each of us and all of us shine our light in love and compassion for all, for this broken and beautiful world of ours needs all the light that we have to bring. Badram karnebhi shrunyamah devaah Badram pashye mokshabhir yajatraah Stirairangaihi stustu vardham shastannobhihi Vyasema devahitayadayuhu Swastina Indra Vruddhasravaha Swastina Pusha Vishvavedaha Swastina Starksho Arishtanemihi Swastino Bruhaspatir Dhadatu Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May our ears hear and eyes see what is blessed and good. May our bodies rise in service of the holy. May we see the divine light within and around us. May the divine bless us with well-being, prosperity, and happiness. May all be protected from harm and be blessed by the universe. May there be peace, peace, peace. May it be so.